just a bloke in a bar.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of Pack Her Up, boys. And you may be looking at me on YouTube going, ooh, you're wearing a jersey. You're wearing a jersey. Well, Bloke jerseys, they are coming very soon. As I've said the last couple of weeks, set aside your $99 because we're going to launch them most likely, not this coming Monday, but the following Monday. We're going to, basically what's going to happen is the initial pre-order, it's $99. After a certain date, it's going to be $120. So you're going to get in early. There's a limited amount. Once they are gone, guys, they are gone. So we've got X amount. They sell, gone. Not going to re-release these ones. Last year, we did a batch, and then we re-released some at the end of the year because they were, like, the demand was absolutely huge. But these ones, and going forward, we just drop them each year. Limited edition. You won't get them again, and these ones are sick. Now, as I said, I'm wearing a jersey right now. Real deep Bloke community members, they'll know whether this is the jersey that we are releasing or whether it's a new jersey that we're releasing that's different to this. So I'll just leave it at that. If you're an OG or if you're a deep Bloke member, you'll know the answer to that question. Also, head into your IGA in New South Wales, $50 cases of Bloke. $50. Are you serious? That is so cheap. For a small company like us, a small beer company, $50, that's competitive prices with the big dogs, with squillions of dollars. So get down to IGA plus Liquor in New South Wales. Plus, we're in all the celebrations in New South Wales and Queensland, all the bottle-os, all the liquor legends in Queensland. So go to your local, ask them to order some Bloke in, politely, obviously, or go to our store locator. And we've got hundreds of stores in Queensland, New South Wales, Victoria, and ACT. Matty, he's joined me again. How you going, mate?
Denon, great. After a good win last night, or good second half.
I tell you what, I was looking at first half going, the Rabbitohs might. Like they were, look, put it this way, I'll be honest. I was sitting there by the end of the first half going, Rabbitohs are not a premiership threat. Just like, because all year it's just been like, I can't get what I need to get out of you. You're like, you're just not the Rabbitohs that I know. Then the second half happens and I'm like, holy shit, this is the Rabbitohs. Yep. Like, this is exactly what the Rabbitohs are playing. Like, fast through the middle. Cam Murray comes to light. Damien Cook starts running the ball. Cody Walker, Trell Mitt, all, like, Jairo had a good game. Moali,
I think.
Moali?
Yeah, David Moali.
Oh, my God. That's an easy name to get. I still stuff it up. Moali. Is that it? Far out. Anyway, he was absolutely best game of his career.
Easy.
Best game.
He was fantastic.
I'd seen, when I looked at Moali, I hope I'm saying that right, Moali?
David Moali, I think it is.
Moali. When I watched him before, we'll just call him Davey.
Davey.
When I saw Davey before, I was like, big body, looks like an athlete, has a lot of potential, and you'd see like these little glimpses. You'd be like, okay, yeah. Last night was the first time where I go, oh, wow, this kid has more than just like, you know, the potential to be just a good, solid first grader. He has the potential to replace Burgess when he retires.
Yep.
Just that similar hit the line and it just bends automatically. And I think it might be because maybe his knee is all the way good again. Because didn't he have a sore knee a few weeks ago?
I think against the Panthers he got a bit injured. And it's funny, like, everyone's obviously heard, like, coming through the ranks. I know, like, South fans, I pay attention to him because he's Rabbitohs, but everyone's kind of said, yeah, this kid's special. But he's been playing first grade for a little bit now.
Yeah, a few years now, 3.
Yeah, probably about 2 or 3. And really, like, Jason Demetrio's been really, really patient with him. Yeah. Which, I guess, I mean, you know more than...
You've got to be with front rowers, man.
Yeah, with front rowers.
No one... Payne Haas is a once-in-a-lifetime front rower.
He doesn't count.
Because I'm trying to think, like, what other 19-year-old front rower do we have that just dominates the game?
Absolutely dominates. So I think they've done a really good job with him, and we're seeing the rewards. Like, he had his best game, as he said last night. Wind back 2 weeks ago, like that hit he put on against Melbourne. He's going to be a force to be reckoned with in the future, and I'm excited to see his progression.
Yeah, I can't wait. He was really, like, every time. I thought Jairo was outstanding in the middle as well.
Fantastic. First game back.
Yeah, and like I haven't been much of a Jairo in the front row fan. Like even though he's good. He's really good in the front row. Yeah. But I'm always like, oh, is he big enough? Like, he's not that big of a bloke. But last night, he was outstanding. I know he played in the edge when Keon went off. Oh, that sucked. Hopefully it's just
Yeah, I know.
Hopefully that's just like a 3 or 4 weeker. But Jai Arrow, he was outstanding. Far out. He's the kind of guy, like, when he was at the Titans, he was the man.
Yep.
Because, like, he's their best player. And then he came down to Rabbitohs, and although he still played really good footy, he gets kind of lost in all the superstars there.
He's flown under the radar heaps.
Massively. But then you see him come back and you're like, oh, now I remember how important this bloke is to the team.
Yeah.
Like, he is crucial to that side.
Yeah, made a huge difference last night. I think he topped the meters for the whole game as well.
I think as well he releases Cam Murray a little bit because, ironically, when he came to the club, people forget, and you may remember because you're a Rabbitohs fan, there was a bit of a question. Does Cam Murray play 13 or Jairo play 13?
100% that was a question.
And people don't know that. They think, oh, yeah, Jai just came down. No, he was actually one of the best 13s in the comp.
Oh, if you, like, go back on NRL.com if you're listening, if you have time, and look at Jairo's numbers. Just click on a random Titans game. 200 metres a game. Like, just, he got through so much work at the Titans in the middle.
And so there was a question like, does Cam move to an edge and does Jairo, and obviously Cam's gone on to do what he has done, but I think he does release a bit of load for Cam because, like, he can do a bit of cleanup work.
Yeah.
Because, like, when Cam's out there by himself, like, you've got Keon who, don't get me wrong, Keon gets through a lot of work, but he's like, you're explosive. You want him fresh in attack, Keon. And then you get Jai on, you go, well, they can kind of share the load a little bit. Even at stages like Jai might ask Cam, oh, Cam, just jump out for a set.
Yeah.
Let me fucking get in there and have a rip and tear. So, yeah, Rabbitohs outstanding. Cody Walker, oh, my God.
That's good. It's good to see him.
That pass was stupid, bro. Like, what I honestly, and apologies for people that have watched footy for, way longer than I have, but I swear that pass wasn't around back in the day where they were floating it over blokes into into spaces where the player wasn't to just hit onto.
Yeah.
I don't know. I put it this way: when I was playing, maybe it happened once or twice, but I feel like you see it like once a week now.
Yeah.
Where they just go, floated all the way over, and then the winger just runs straight onto it.
I tried to do that in Oztag on Wednesday. It went out.
Oh, far out. That's funny.
But yeah, no, you're right. Like, and they're beautiful to watch those passes too.
Like, I kind of feel like back in the day, a cutout pass, that was what we were impressed by.
Yeah.
Just like, and it was a spiral. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, right to left, a mad spiral, like far out. How good's that? Joey John's spiral. And don't get me wrong, like Joey John absolutely has the skill to do what Cody did. But that non-spiral floater, I just don't know if we used to see that. I don't know. Because did defenses used to jam in as much as they do now?
Yeah, I think I'm with you.
I don't know.
Sure,
I don't know. Let us know in the comments section. Was it before my time where a lot of these kind of looping passes used to happen? But I feel like it's only
certainly not as often as we see.
Like probably the last 3 years. Because like remember when Sam Walker came in and was doing them, and it was a bit of a shock.
Was like, whoa.
Yeah. So anyway, Cody Walker. Oh man, what an absolute. Wayne Bennett sitting there going, because Wayne Bennett at the start of the week was like, he's one of the most skillful players I've ever coached. And he's like, fuck. I'll come back to kill me.
I think like it's weird because sometimes Cody, he, goes quiet for a couple of games. Everyone's like, oh, miss the old Cody Walker. But when you really see him, like he's kind of unmatched when it comes to all-rounded skills with the ball in hand.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Like, you look at his stats. Like, I know Cody on the field is hyper passionate and, gets in people's faces. So opposing fans don't like him, but Rabbitohs fans love it.
Love him.
Love it.
Love him.
He's the guy that if you're playing him, you hate it. If you're with him, you love it. I personally love it. And I know Cody's a bloke as well. And seriously, I wish everyone could meet Cody just one-on-one and have a chat with him. I guarantee you, there's no chance in hell you'd walk away and say he's a dickhead.
Oh, no way.
And I'm not saying, and there's a lot of players where you probably could walk away and say he's a dickhead. So like, I'm not saying every NRL player is a fucking great bloke because it's not true. What I'm saying is Cody Walker is a standout good bloke.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you look at his stats. If you go back with his stats the last 5 years, they're easily the best attacking stats in the competition, bar none.
Yeah, by far.
Most try assists, most tries, most line break assists, like all of the attacking stats, he's either first or like second or third.
The crazy one was the
try one.
The try one. Like he's a 5'8".
A 5'8", then what was he, in the top 10?
He was in the top 10, I think.
Maybe
and
top
That's
5?
been generous. It could have been top 5.
Like, far out. As a 5'8", and he's not at the Roosters or the Melbourne Storm. He's at Rabbitohs, who, they have years where they're solid. I know they get to the prelim, but it's not like their seasons, they just dominate the whole way through.
But also, if you look at South, look at their prelims, look at the first prelim, which was in 2018, to the team now. Cody Walker's pretty much the only guy still. It's a completely different team. There was a whole rebuild.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so impressive.
And also, it's no surprise that Alex Johnson's been top try scorer, 3 years in a row now?
Yeah.
Who's the man inside him that sorts that out? Rabbitohs, as I said, first half, I'm going, mate, these guys are done. I just think they might have lost their edge a bit. They've been edging for so many years that maybe this is just the year where, they might stumble into the 8 and then bow out. But second half, I just go, okay, no, they've still got that edge. The edge is still there, that high speed, high line speed, all that kind of stuff. With the Dolphins, gallant performance. They were right in that match. I mean, they were ahead at halftime.
Well, at halftime when I was watching it, I was talking to the people I was with and I was saying, South are playing the Dolphins game at the moment. They're at 14-6. It was gritty. It was grindy. There was basically no errors in the first half from either team. South, they just dominated the first half. And South could get out of their end. They were just really good.
You know what it was? I like, and this is no disrespect to the Dolphins at all, but I just think that it was evidence of there's the top tier roster and then there's the solid roster. Yeah. And as soon as that top tier roster clicked into gear, unfortunately, you just can't go with them.
Can't match it,
unless you're the Penrith Panthers, the Roosters, maybe the Broncos, depending how they're going at the moment. I feel so negative on them. They're fucking the top of the table, but
it's your team. You got to be pessimistic.
I know, but it's just if you actually watch the Broncos games, you'll get the same feeling. People that are anyone that's riding high on the Broncos right now, I just don't feel like they've properly watched what's happening.
Yeah.
Not to say that they're going poorly at all, but people are putting them as premiership threats, and I just go, not yet. Yeah. Maybe give me a few more rounds to see that. But anyway, I think the Rabbitohs, the second half, because Dolphins ended up missing more tackles, but I think that's more because the Rabbitohs are so hard to tackle.
Yeah.
But they actually completed higher percentage in the end than the Rabbitohs.
Yeah.
And so when you see that, you go, and then you see the score that was put on, you just go, just crazy roster. Look at the tries. Latrell Mitchell, just big fucking giant.
Yeah.
Just dominating. Crazy ball from Cody. Crazy ball from Cody Walker.
Yeah.
Deflection off Osaka's leg.
Oh, that was lucky.
So unlucky. So that's three. You know what I mean? That's 3 tries that are just kind of out of your control.
Yeah.
And so let's say you take away the deflection, you take away Latrell's barge over and Cody Walker's crazy ball.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, it's a tight game. And so that's what I mean by that. Just Cody Walker and Latrell Mitchell, you can't. They're on
craziness is the difference.
Yeah, they're on another level, and they can just win your matches.
Yeah.
So, in regard to some of the calls, look, the Bromwich one, it looked bad because he's catching a kick and he's not even looking where the ball's going. It sounds stupid for me to say this, but there was no malice in it, in my opinion.
Oh, he just mistimed it.
He just mistimed it.
Yeah.
Even though it's bro, did you see what happened? He hit him in the head and the ball wasn't even near him. It's he's not going to hurt him. He's going to put on a big shot. But he's not actually, he just mistimed it.
I agree that he mistimed it and it was a complete accident, but I think
definitely 10 in the bin.
Still deserves simping, yeah.
Yeah, in today's game for sure. I mean, to be honest, I'm trying to. I feel like 10 in the bin was fucking hectic back in the day. You had to nearly kill someone.
There was an article going around recently. It was most players most sin binned in the NRL era, and it had Latrell was first and Victor was second, and all the talk was around Victor because he's played 50 less games on the list. And it's basically pretty much players in the last 5 years because of how many sin bins there are.
Yeah.
And then there's Reece Wesser. That bloke must have been sin binned all the time. Because sin bins weren't popular back then.
Reece Wesser.
Because he's a fullback, it must have been
holding down
professional fouls on that.
Yeah.
It was funny just to see his name on the list because I don't remember him being sin binned a lot.
That's crazy. The great Reece Wesser. He was so good.
He was awesome. Loved him.
Yeah. Wow, that's funny. Yeah, so with the Kenny Bromwich one, look, 10 in the bin. Look, if you will look at the suspensions in the past, you'd think he might be in a little bit of trouble, but I hope not. Like maybe I'm just being... Because, like, put it this way, if it was Hargreaves, we'd all be sitting here going, bruh,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Yeah, for sure.
Because it's Kenny Bromwich who basically has a seamless, like a great record.
Yeah.
We're all like, oh, come on, mate. Like, yeah, okay, stuffed up, let's move on. So, I don't know.
The problem is, and I think this podcast will go out by the time he's charged, but it's just, we just don't know. It's such a lottery.
Yeah, it is
like
such
with Kafusi getting 4, Radley getting a fine last week. And
If
I'm not
Kafusi gets 4, he should get 8.
saying, fucking oath he should.
Like, you know what I mean? If Kafusi is 4, and say 3 because he fucking charged it, like, because he challenged it, because it was 3 regardless, even if he had carryovers, hey? Or was it 2?
Nah, it was, oh.
Was his carryovers, did it push him to 3?
Carryovers pushed him, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, sorry. So, because it was a grade 3, yeah, his carryovers pushed him. But if he got it downgraded to a grade 2, it would have been a fine. So, yeah, grade 3 would have been 2 at
So,
least,
I mean, 2.
I think.
So, if his base suspension was 2 weeks, Kenny Bromwich should honestly be 5.
I know.
Like, anyway, I hope it isn't.
I
I'm
hope
just
not,
saying,
yeah.
like, fuck. I mean, you know what? We've seen the NRL hasn't. Because I've seen way worse things than Kafusi's, and they don't even get fucking...
Yeah, I just, we're going to be using it as the yardstick for the rest of the year,
Yeah,
but
I
it's
know.
just,
I know.
yeah.
Now,
He's back next week, so thank God. Hopefully,
yeah. That's a... Oh, fuck. Dolphins are going, whew.
oh, yeah.
Because if they had lost him and Bromwich,
And
holy
Bromwich.
heckers.
Yeah.
Now on to the bit, I mean, they call it a controversial call, but I don't think it was controversial at all. Campbell Graham try, like, yeah, he, like, Ewan Aiken gets knocked over, but that was a great line from Campbell Graham. Like, he didn't put his hands up at all. It was it directly shoulder to shoulder? No, but it was like the back of his shoulder. That's a great line. Like, he's running that line aggressively. Like, you're always taught as a winger to run that line aggressively and, like, keeping your core strong so you can push through the crowd. And, like, I think that was just a great line by Campbell Graham. You want to knock people over. Like, you just run. He had eyes on the ball the whole time. He didn't push. It was with his shoulder.
that's the main part. They didn't actually.
He didn't push. It was like that shoulder to shoulder. And, like, he wasn't running into Ewan Aiken. He was running past Ewan Aiken.
Yep.
I don't see the controversy at all.
Yeah, live, I actually, when I was looking at it, I'm like, this will get called back for sure. And then look at, like, more replays. I think it just looked worse because it seemed like he got pushed, but he didn't actually get pushed. As you said, he was attacking the ball, running a line, eyes for the ball and everything.
I'll tell you this. If Ewan Aiken was going to catch that ball, you reckon he gets bumped that hard?
Yeah, true. Yeah, no chance.
That's exactly.
Yeah, no chance.
His core is strong.
Yeah.
And he's hitting that to get up there and to jump.
Yeah.
And so the reason he's not is because he's escorting.
He's escorting, yeah.
But even though he wasn't escorting in the technical sense of, like, he was looking behind and whatever, but he was running back towards it. Let's say at the very least he was running back towards it to gather up a ball on the deck. He wasn't running to catch the ball though.
Yeah.
And so I just think, I think it was a great line by Campbell Graham, and he just, once again,
My God.
he is so good.
Every week he's getting better.
Getting
It's crazy.
better and better and better. It is crazy. And, you know, a lot of people have Suoliti in that spot on the wing, and I know Suoliti has heaps of upside, and I love the work he gets through, but I don't know, there's something about Campbell Graham, like his safety. And look, Suoliti is tough as well. Like, he gets through the tough carries as well, but, you know, Campbell Graham's, he's a bit more hardened edged because he's been in the game for a little bit longer. Not to say that Suoliti isn't, but I don't know. When I put those two beside each other, okay, look, does Suoliti maybe have more athleticism by a bit? Yeah, probably. But that hardened edge that Campbell Graham has developed for the last few years, I think that means something.
Especially in State of Origin.
Yeah, like, I think Suoliti would handle Origin, but I don't know. There's just something about Campbell Graham's game at the moment that he would just shine. Put it this way, he reminds me of Jackie Whiten.
Oh, that's a good comparison.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, for some reason, I just see him getting up for Origin.
Yeah.
And Jackie Whiten, he just loves the He loves the contact. And I know Suoli'i does as well, but there's just something with Campbell Graham that I just like in regards to the makeup of the side.
To strip it back even further, Campbell Graham's playing better than Suoli'i. So like, I agree with all those points 100%. He's when as a South fan, I watch him, I look at that bloke and I think, wow, he's not letting his teammates down. Ever. And he's every one-on-one battle, he always seems to win.
Yeah.
And Suoli'i is a
Freak.
generational freak. But I think Campbell Graham's playing better at the moment. So
And again, that hard and edged. And to be clear, Suoli'i for his age is super tough. He's tough as anything.
You forget he's 19.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
So I'm not talking about toughness.
No.
I'm talking about that week in, week out NRL footy for a few years now.
Yeah.
I really do like it. To be honest, you can't go wrong with either, like Suoli'i's. But I would probably have Campbell Graham there.
That thing you said last week about, actually, I think it might have been on the captain's run when you were like, the Titans are playing the Bronx this week, and every Titans player just has to look at their opposition number and say, I can beat you. It seems like Campbell Graham does that every week.
Yeah.
I don't know if he does, but as I said, he always, no matter who he's playing, he always gets on top. Even, when was it? It was the 2021, not the grand final, the game against Penrith when South won. He was chopping down kick out the whole game.
Yeah.
He's
so
he
good.
will not let anyone down in the blue jumper.
And he's a gun in attack too, which is crazy.
And if you put him on the wing, you can kick to him.
I know.
That's something South don't use
enough.
Nowhere
near enough.
Yeah.
So we're actually catching up with Big Stretch on Monday. Oh, you won't be able to. Sorry, bro.
Oh, damn.
We got our photo shoot for the jerseys.
What a
we got
pick.
Big Stretch and we got Nico Hines.
Oh, yes. That's good. Nice.
And it's at like 2:30, so
Monday's
you'll
right
still
off.
be editing that. I tell you what,
Fuck, Campbell Graham's going to look good in that jersey.
Fuck, he's going to look good. And Nico Hines, I'm like a fucking ugly frog next to the cunt. Jesus Christ. I tell you what, like when I see you do the editing in that now, I go, how did I used to do all this shit? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think people realize for like 5 years, it was all me.
It was all you, and like, you didn't have this Adam Black Magic thing.
No.
That would have been the worst part, actually editing, like going back and editing the podcast on the cameras.
So I used to, whilst working a full-time job, I was working at a coal terminal, Port Kembla, covered in coal. Anyone that's been in a coal terminal, like you can't avoid it. Like some people, you're carrying on a bit. No. If you're in a coal terminal and you're working, you will end the day covered in coal. Kind of like out of Zoolander when he walks out of the fucking, even though you're not underground in a coal terminal. Anyway, so I would if let's say we had a shutdown, which means you have to work 12 hours a day, because what they do is basically they shut the site down for electricians and other people, but electricians, so there's no power running through, so you could run cables and shit.
Yeah.
And then terminate them wherever you need to terminate them. Anyway, so I would on let's say a Friday or a Thursday. So I'd work 12 hours each day. So you get there at 6, you leave at 6. You get there at 6 a.m., you start work, you leave at 6 p.m. at night. Anyway, so you do that all week. And then on one day, I'd ask my boss, look, on Thursday, could I please leave at 3 so that I can, or even like 4. But anyway, let's say 3. I would, from Wollongong, I would drive up to Sydney, because I would hire out a hotel, $150 for a little room, like a convention room or whatever. Could barely afford it. Like everything was on a credit card.
You're on a credit card?
Yeah, everything.
Oh, shit.
Everything.
Yeah.
I had no money. Like when I retired, I had nothing. I had no money, no qualifications, nothing. $0. And I didn't even have a social media when I retired. Anyway, so I would go up there, I would unpack everything, because there were mobile walls that I'd put behind each person, and then I'd do the interview. Then I'd pack everything down, go home. So you're looking at like 10, 11 o'clock at night, go to bed, wake up, 6 a.m, obviously, go back to work. Then on the weekends, I'd have to rewatch the whole interview, cut it up. So 1, 2, 1, 2, cut the cameras up. Then have to cut up the snippets.
Yeah,
because it's not just cutting up the fucking thing for the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's the short thing. So Now I look at them like, I don't know. Obviously I do way more podcasts now, so that's why my time goes. But I go far out. Just how
like not enough hours in the day, but somehow I just squeeze it all in.
Now, because I think sometimes I ask myself, if I had to start all over again, do I have the fire to do it? You know?
Yeah.
You know, like, do I have the same fire as I used to? Do I have the same desperation as I used to? I don't know. Maybe not, but Jesus Christ. Anyway, head into your nearest Bottle store in New South Wales and Queensland. Bloke Lager is currently on special. As I said, we're in every Bottle in New South Wales and Queensland. The beer's getting bigger and bigger each month. Biggest month we ever had last month, guys. People are absolutely loving it. And that's literally numbers-wise. Biggest amount of beer sales we've ever had last month. So people are loving the beer, guys, and the mid-strength. It just keeps going from strength to strength. And as I said, Bloke beer is a beer for blokes that turn up for their mates, family, and good times.
I love the midi.
The midi's so fucking good. So good, man. Yeah. I love the can color as well.
Yeah.
They're just like, I think the midi is good for like, you just crisp session, kind of chill out, have 4 or 5. I think the lager is good if you want something more like obviously because it's a full strength beer, but just like something more full kind of thing.
Yeah. Kicking back and watching the footy, I'm usually having a midi.
Yeah, it's so good. Yeah. So good. But lager at the same time though, I love the taste of the lager.
This is just me personally. If I'm kicking back watching the footy, midi, but if I'm like taking a case of beers to have like, on a Saturday night.
To go out.
I'll go the lager.
Yeah, go the lager. Yep, so Bloke beer, a beer for blokes that turn up. I can't believe, that slogan wasn't taken.
Really?
Yeah. Turn up.
Did you just make that up?
Yeah, so what you do is like, you sit back and you go, well, what is Bloke about? Like, and so it actually comes from my dad. So when I was growing up, he would always just say, you just got to turn up. You just got to turn up. He said, don't get carried away with being great or doing this or doing that. Just turn up. The rest takes care of itself. Like, how many times when you're sitting in bed or you're sitting on the couch and you're going, I don't want to do this. Like, I just don't want to do this. And you've got to do it or whatever. Anyway, so you get your shit together and you're all pissed off or whatever. You get out the door, you get in the car, you rock up. And then you're 30 minutes into whatever you were doing and you've completely forgotten about how pissed off you were. And so that's what, he always taught me and my brother and my sisters as well. But, obviously me and my brother, we were doing sport and that, whereas my sisters stopped sport, I think like about 13, 14. He would always just say, just turn up for your friends, turn up for your family, turn up for your mates. And so sometimes we're like, a lot of big companies, they like do this like full, like board meetings where they're like, what are we about? Rah, rah, right on the thingo. And, that's fair enough. Like it can work. But I just sat back and just be like, what is Bloke about? And sometimes it's really hard. Like when you ask someone, what is your brand? They'll give you some nonsense. Oh, it's for the people, or it's
here are my 4 pillars.
Yeah, like it's for the people, or it's to make the world a better place, or it's it's to inspire this. Like just all stuff that really doesn't mean anything.
No,
like it's just all vague.
Yeah,
it means like whatever, and anyone could say it about any business. Whereas Bloke is genuinely about fucking turn up. Like, and it doesn't just mean for sport. It means if your wife needs you or your family needs you, turn up. So like, if you need bills paid, go out and fucking work. Turn up for your friends. If they need you, they need you to move house, turn up for them. And I think it's a very it's a great slogan, obviously, in my opinion anyway. But it's also like practical.
It's great. It is when you break it down like that. It's so simple, but it makes so much sense. That's all being a good person is about.
Is about fucking turning up and just being a bloke of your word. That's it. That's all Bloke's about. You can all the jibber jabber about, we're here to do this and we're here to do that. No. We are here just to hopefully create a community of blokes that turn up for their wives and their kids. That's it.
Yeah.
And their communities, but mainly their wives and their kids. Because if you take care of your wife and your kids, the rest fucking will take care of itself.
Yeah.
And it's weird because I never thought I would be similar to my father, but you just become your father.
Yeah.
You just do. But when you're younger, you're like, no way. Like,
100%.
I'm not going to be like dad. Like, he's a different person. But like, so because when I grew up, I didn't even really know what he did. Like, I knew he helped, he worked at Catholic education for kids with disability.
Right.
And then, but I didn't really know what he did. Like, I just, oh yeah, dad's going to work. And then, he'd get up at 4 a.m. and then he'd go up to work. He'd drive up to Brisbane. So this is how much of a mad dog he was. Get up at 4 a.m. He'd have a cold shower before cold showers existed. Like, before the cold fucking nonsense came through. Everyone's doing ice baths now, which is great. Good on you, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So he would have it just out of pure grit. Like, I'm just going to do it because I've got to do it. It'll wake me up. He'd go down into our garage, which is this shitty, like, he'd have weights that were orange and rust. Orange and red and rust. You've seen it?
I've seen it. I was like, wow, that is tough right there. It's the definition of tough.
Like, it's not like, oh, cool little gym, like a cheap, no, this is like covered in rust and red dirt.
Yeah.
Go down there and you'd hear, and then he'd get in the car. I think it was would be about 5:30 at this stage. Boom, about an hour and 20 up to Brizzy if there's traffic. He'd work all day. Then 2 times a week. So what happened was I was playing with the Gold Coast, I don't know if they were called Gold Coast City back then. The Gold Coast Soccer Club at this stage. It could obviously been from the Gold Coast. So the Queensland Roar, which became Brisbane Roar in the A-League now, approached me and said, we'd love you to come and play for us. You've made all the Queensland sides, blah, blah, blah. And so my dad did not hesitate. He was like, yep, you can do it. And I was like, okay, sweet. So he would drive up, do work all day. He would drive back from Brisbane, pick me up from home, and then drive back up to Brisbane.
Fuck.
While I trained, he'd sit in the car, then drive me back home, and then he'd do it all again the next day.
Far out.
And then on the weekend, he'd drive me up to Brisbane because Brisbane was my home ground because I was with the Brisbane Roar.
Yeah.
And it's an hour away.
Yeah. Fuck, what an absolute legend.
Oh my God.
Jeez, like when you really, because you don't appreciate that at the time.
Yeah, no, you don't. And like he would be, and like even like little things, like he'd always let me listen to what music I wanted to listen to on the radio. Like he's just a fucking legend. He actually won an Order of Australia for helping young men through sport.
Really?
Yeah. I got the picture on it was a special day. It was about a year ago, I think, a year and a half ago.
Nice.
Won an Order of Australia for helping young men through sport. And it's funny, like, as I said, obviously I'm not going to win no Order of Australia or anything like that. But like, what is Bloke doing? We're trying to help young men through sport.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm me dad.
Well, I think like is that where you get your work ethic from?
See, I don't even think I work hard.
Oh, please.
I swear to God, I don't. I don't fucking think I work hard. I think that sometimes I think I'm a pussy, to be honest.
I tell you why though. It's because the way I see it, and the perfect example is how the DMP got cancelled yesterday. Like, for the first time in ages, because we did the country tour, everything was busy, which is great. I love it. But yesterday was like the first day where I literally had nothing to do. I felt like a fraud.
Yeah.
I felt like I needed to be doing something every minute of the day. And I was like, I think you just get used to it.
Yeah.
And like, you're up in, because you do a podcast every day, getting up, going to Queensland, doing the captain's run, doing shit on the weekends, because watching the footy, that's sometimes it's hard work too.
No, well, I think people don't realise, like, so when you watch the footy, you go, so you're looking at like, how long does the game take? 2 hours,
2
you
hours.
reckon? So how many games? 8?
8.
So you
16 hours.
That's 16 hours. That's fucking like what? That's 2 work days.
Full days of work with no breaks.
Yeah. It's a bit like, look, it's not real work.
No.
Like it's not real tradie work.
It's not like, I can't go to I did last night, but
you can't watch it with people.
You can't watch it with people. No. And if I go to the pub, I ring ahead and I'm like, can you please book me on a table next to the speaker with commentary?
Yeah.
Because I need to watch the games at home now because you just can't concentrate.
I mean, and look, this is not a woe is me. I'm the luckiest bloke in history. But like, I couldn't go down with my wife to see her family for Easter.
Yeah.
Because I had to watch the footy.
Yeah, exactly.
And, I would have loved to have been down there with her for footy. But that's fucking nuts.
It sounds bad, but like, it's time. It is time consuming, and you have to watch every game.
Yeah. But it's like, trust me, super fucking lucky.
It's the best.
Yeah, not complaining at all.
No,
it's just explaining what can happen.
Yeah.
But I think, man, I think men working is a natural state that we need to be in.
Oh, fucking earth.
Because for hundreds of thousands of years, we went out and got shit and came back and brought it to the village. That's how we've evolved. Like, you know, let's say you've got this village in the middle of nowhere. You need to go and get food to bring it back for your community. That's why for a lot of men, it feels so, I don't know about other guys, but for me, it feels so good to be able to, like, let's say I get paid well or whatever, to be able to give that to my wife and be like, there you go, like, what do you want done? Do you want to get paid for dinner? Do you want to get paid for dinner, or do you want do you need something new? It makes me feel fucking mad. Whereas like buying myself stuff, I don't really care. Like
I'm definitely with you there.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think there's something inherent in and look, this is all just anecdotal. And, you know, I'm no scientist, but I do think there's something inherently natural about men. You know, and women can do it too. Please, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying from my personal experience, men going out, getting resources, bringing it back to the people they love. I think it is what we're here for. I really do. And women can do it too. I'm not saying they're not. I'm just saying from my personal experience, I feel great when I do it.
Yeah, me too. And I like, on top of that, I like going to work and while you're at work, having like a purpose or trying to achieve something.
Oh, having a purpose is so important. So important. And look, I'm sure, there definitely is a lot of women that love going out, working and bringing resources home back to their family. But as I said, just from my personal experience, my friends that I know, like if I ever see like one of my mates struggling or whatever, it's usually a lack of purpose.
Yeah.
Like it's usually
for sure.
Because men want to feel useful.
Yeah.
If you don't feel useful, you feel useless, and you feel like, what's the point? Why am I here?
Yeah, and you get stuck in a rut.
Stuck in a rut. You give yourself purpose. And I always say to mates that are struggling, whatever, go out and serve someone. And what I mean by that is like, get involved in a community and help. Just go out and help someone. I guarantee you walk away feeling happy as anything.
100%.
Or, you know, or join a footy team or an MMA class or just a group of men or women or whatever, but just speaking to men now, like just go out and join a community and serve it and be a part of it rather than thinking like, I need this, I need that kind of thing.
Great example. And a lot of people do know about this, but I'll say it anyway. Even like the tippy top Freddie, Brad Fittler, I think it was the year 2000, he was kind of struggling on the field. I think he was called voted the most overrated player in the NRL or something.
What? Freddie Fittler?
Yeah, Freddie Fittler for 1 year. Something like that.
You know what? It shows you how ridiculous we are.
Crazy.
Yeah, we're all crazy.
But anyway, it was around the year 2000, I'm pretty sure. And he was speaking to, I think it was Father Chris Riley. He's a guy that helps out homeless kids.
Yeah.
And he's like, just come down and just have a look at these kids or whatever. And Freddie, he changed two things in his life. Firstly, he moved closer to training. That was one thing he put it down to. But the other thing is he went and did this thing with Father Chris Riley. And he reckons it literally changed his life. It changed how he looked at life.
Yep.
And those motorbike rides that he goes on is for Father Chris Riley. Like the Hogs for Homeless.
Wow.
Like he still does it to this day. And he's like, it's the most important thing that I do. It's like it literally changed his life. So even if you're so successful, like Brad Fittler, going out and helping someone change his life as well.
Wow. What an incredible moment. And think about that sliding doors moment of Freddie's decision to listen to Father
Chris Riley.
Chris Riley. Think about now the thousands of kids' lives that Freddie has impacted because of that.
Yeah.
Because Hogs, what's it called again?
It's called Hogs for Homeless.
Hogs for Homeless.
Yeah.
And he does it every year, eh?
Every year gets on his motorbike with like people like Nathan Highmarsh, David Dearest, plus all these people that donate and come on the ride as well. So all the money goes to the charity. But I did it a couple of times, like just going through communities. Yeah. There's two parts. There's raising money for the kids on the street, which is terrible, but also just going through rural areas. As you know, we just went on that country tour and seeing country people. It's mad. But like he put on footy clinics for the kids. He's like, it's crazy that the Origin coach is still doing that.
Yeah. Think about that moment. You know what I mean? Let's say Freddie goes, stuff it. I'm a footy player. I'm a gun, whatever. He goes, no, you know what? I need to serve a community.
Yeah.
And then it changes everything. Now, the measurable impact he's had on the country because of that is absolutely incredible.
And not only that, he made 2002, 4 grand finals in the next 5 years after that. So that was a real moment for
Mate,
me.
as I said, I'm telling you, if you're struggling, if you're just struggling to get together, go and join a community, whatever it is. Whether it's your religious community, I'm personally not religious, but whether it's a religious one, whether it's what Freddie did, whether it's just a local soccer team or footy team, whatever it is, just join a community. It will make you'll always leave feeling better from it. You'll never leave feeling, that was whatever.
100%.
What incredible from Freddie. That's so good. Man, when you hear stuff like that, you're like, And look, we should always critique rugby league because it's so fun to do and that's our passion, it's our hobby. But you're like, people that go too hard about Freddie, you go, come on, bro. Like,
There's just the most genuine, down-to-earth guy.
like, look what he is doing. Look what he's done. Like, okay, you might disagree with his coaching choices, but just chill on the insults.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. Anyway, betting this week. Huge games coming up. What's your match of the round?
You know what? Unfortunately, we're going to be at Guru's wedding. But
unfortunately,
sorry,
Guru. Guru, why you got to get married, bro?
Come on, Guru. Nah, Sharks Roosters.
Yeah.
Tonight.
Look, I'm sure there'll be a few phones out.
I think so.
It's funny. I was thinking about commentating the wedding, as a footy commentator, but I was like, I don't know if Guru would like that.
Yeah, it's mostly, I think, Beck's day, not Guru's day.
Yeah, I know, but it'll be so funny.
It will be hilarious.
Oh man.
But yeah, I think I'm keen for even the Manly Storm. It's a good night of footy tonight.
Manly Storm. Oh,
Yeah.
far out.
Munster at fullback.
Oh, I love Munster at full. I mean, look, he's better at 6 for that club, but at the same time,
But there's just something about it.
yeah,
It's
you know
exciting.
what he's gonna bloody kill it at fullback. Anyway, betting this week brought to you by Sportsbet, guys. The absolute legends at Sportsbet. They partner with Bloke. They're the reason we get to keep doing what we're doing. Seriously, without their support, it gets tough. It gets tough. It's really, really helpful. So if you're going to have a punt, you do it with Sportsbet, and they've been incredible to work with. So good to work with. Haven't demanded anything. Haven't put anything on us. Or you need to do this. You need to be smashing odds every 2 seconds. They're really, really supportive of the podcast. And I'm not just making that up. They are really they're fit. Not fans, but as in. I hate calling people fans because it's just
I know.
but they watch Bloke in a Bar. They watch Bloke in a Bar.
They're part of the community.
They're part of the community. As always, guys, gamble responsibly. You win some, but you lose a lot more. Don't punt more than you have, guys. Just have a bit of fun. Dabble here and there. Make the footy a bit more high stakes with your mates. They've also got a brand new feature, Share a Bet. You press one button and you can copy your mate's bet on the Sportsbet app. But betting this week, let's go. Sharkies versus Roosters. Sharkies paying $2.25. Roosters $1.65. What are you going, Matty?
I like the Roosters. I obviously want the Sharks to win, but because I don't know, I just really like the Sharks this year. But Teddy's coming back. The Roosters have won their last. I think they've won their last 4 or 5 at Shark Park, and they've won their last 7 against the Sharks. They've got a good record against them. I think the Roosters are going to win. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I'd go Roosters. I'd love to see Sharkies get up, get a bit of confidence, but I reckon Roosters. Sharkies paying $2.25, Roosters $1.65. Manly Seagulls versus Storm. I'm going Storm.
Yeah, Melbourne, for sure.
Seagulls $2.50. I think they've come in, actually. Oh, no, actually, they've been around $2.50. Look, they are at home. Maybe there's an ambush on the cards.
It's just...
Storm or Storm.
The Storm or Storm, and I'm getting worried. Schuster's just not playing.
Yeah, I wonder whether there's some personal issues going on there in regards to family-wise, maybe. Because from a cork, it's been 3 weeks.
It's been 3 weeks now, and he's not playing this week.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Warriors, Cowboys.
Fuck. Speaking of, there's some good games this week.
I know.
I'm really keen for this one. I've tipped the Warriors on my thing. I'm actually thinking of changing. I've just got a feeling about the Cowboys this week.
Going Cowboys.
Yeah.
I'm going Cowboys. I don't know. It's got to come together soon.
Yeah.
It's got to come together soon. Knights paying $5.50. Panthers $1.15. Look, if you're a wild man, that $5.50 is looking all good. If you like wild bets, chuck a cheeky tenner on the $5.50.
Knights have been tough, and I'm not saying do this because I think Panthers are going to score a few points. But I think the line's about 15.5, and the Knights have been tough as nails at home this
maybe
year.
maybe they just fucking...
I don't think they'll win.
They won't win. Look, they might win. If they win, it'll be one of the greatest wins the club's had.
I think I sat on this couch last week and I said I wouldn't even bother thinking about putting my money on the Raiders, and they won. So.
Yeah, okay, exactly. Who was it? Yeah, some dude had a crack because he said I was crazy for saying the Raiders were, if you want to chuck, I said the Raiders, if you want to chuck 10 on them, I think they were 450 against the Panthers or whatever. I said the Panthers will win, but if the Raiders, do what Raiders can do, then, chuck a cheeky 10, see how you go. Anyway.
Yeah, but he said that after the game was over.
I know. But what's funny is like then the next week the Raiders do exactly what the Raiders can do.
True.
What the point I was making was the Raiders have a tendency to fucking come up and towel up the best teams.
100%.
So there's the irony. Gold Coast Titans versus the Brizzy Broncos. I actually think Titans at 325 is value.
Yeah, for sure they're value.
I'm backing the Broncos.
Yeah.
I think the Titans for sure are value. Foz is back.
Yep.
We know Jaden Campbell gun at fullback. Broncos, as we've said, been a bit iffy, even though they're top of the table. I think the Broncos win, but out of all of the odds this week, I think 325 is quite high for their chances of winning.
I agree, and for that reason, I've got a multi on, and I've done like lines in a few games, but this one I've just gone Brisbane head to head.
Yeah,
because I think Broncos will win. But I don't know how much by. I think that the Titans will definitely give them a shake for sure.
Look, I put Titans more around like the 250 mark, I reckon.
Yeah.
I reckon that's about right.
Is it in Gold Coast?
It is. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's in Gold Coast. And they always get up for this derby. Always get up. So, Raiders versus Dragons. Oh, Raiders have gone. Oh, Jackie's back. That's why.
Jack's back, yeah. And so is Tuppeny.
Oh, I don't mind the Dragons, though. They haven't been terrible.
What are the Dragons paying?
260.
Fuck, that's not bad.
I mean...
Like the Raiders, if you did these odds last week, even if Jackie was playing, it'd be a lot closer because they got a good win against the Bronx. Fuck, short memory. Everyone has short memories. It's so funny, but yeah, I'm tipping the rate.
I'll go Raiders at home, but fuck, 260 Dragons not bad.
That could be that's
not bad value.
Good, yeah.
Eels, doggies, going Eels. Doggies paying $3, but I just think they're too decimated by injury.
Yeah, I thought if Kickout was playing, I thought they're a chance, but it just sucks for the doggies at the moment.
Mate, it sucks. Anyway, brought to you by Sportsbet, guys. If you're going to have a punt, they're number one. They're number one, baby. And they're partners with Bloke, so they're absolute legends. Do it responsibly, though, guys. If you need help, go call the hotlines, all that. Just give them a call, go through your problems, just get it off your chest, and it'll start you on the path to recovery. But if you're all good and you can have a punt, sweet, have a little dabble with Sportsbet. Now, let's get on to wedding etiquette. Can you watch footy during a wedding? Yes or no?
I reckon when it's the actual ceremony, you probably can't. You probably can't like have it on your phone under there. But I don't think it's an issue at all. For like the rest of the wedding is just a party. Like I don't see the issue. I went to a wedding last year in Albury, and it was the day, and South were playing in a semi-final against the Sharks. Yeah, which is a killer. But actually, I didn't even consider this story. I just remembered it then. This is actually pretty embarrassing. But South were playing Sharks in the semi-final. It was when Sharks just lost against Cows in Golden Point the week before, so they were a bit cooked. And Cam Murray went over for a try, like just before halftime. And I was drinking a red wine, and in celebration, I went like this and got the wine all over my suit.
Oh my God.
The problem is, it was a linen suit, it was beige, and the worst part is it was a hired suit.
Oh!
I know, and
you would have had no money at this stage.
Look, it was, I'm not going to lie, I was very drunk, but the next day I woke up and the head noise was just, oh my God, how am I going to, that suit, it was the suit would have cost, it only cost a couple hundred to hire, but it would have cost a few $1,000. I was like, man, I don't want to pay that. Yeah. I actually don't know if I want to admit this. I will, but.
How old were you?
No, this was last year.
Oh, fuck.
No, but yeah, I don't really want to admit this, but they were very clear in their instructions. Do not go to the dry cleaner. Do not try. If you stain it, just give it back to us. Yeah. But I'm thinking, fuck, this suit's costing I don't want to pay this, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, how can I possibly get away with this? So I called up my grandpa, who's 75, 80 years old. I'm like, do you mind if you take this back for me? Because
Yeah.
surely they're not going to make you pay all this money.
Yeah.
So I gave it to my grandpa, and I'm like, I sent him all these photos of the wedding, and I was like, just tell him that like a lady who was like a server just spilled them all over me.
Yeah.
And so he went in, and I'm just like, come on, like I don't want to pay all this money. And they only made him pay $80, which was
So you did take it to the dry cleaner
no, I didn't.
You
But
didn't?
I just took it back to the people who I hired it from.
with the stain on it?
Yeah, and like jacket, shirt, pants, all stained, and it only cost $80 because I
They must have been able to get it out.
hope, yeah,
Like-
I guess so.
They must have, because like there's no way.
It looked like a crime scene though. It was so bad.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's eyes up footy sending you grand. I mean,
I think yeah.
because like, I don't think they'd be worried about making your granddad. Because like, for example, you're running a business, and let's say it does cost $3,000 or whatever the suit, and you can't get that out. Surely you're not going to go, because he's a grandfather, like we're just going to cop $3,000.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think you're wigging out a bit too much about that.
maybe. Yeah,
Because like as a business, for example, like if a grandfather had something of mine and he wrecked it and it was $3,000,
Yeah.
I don't think I'd be like, unless he was like super, like could barely walk or some shit,
Yeah.
or he had no, like if he said, look, I got no money,
Yeah.
then I would be like, oh, okay, yeah, sweet, no worries. But they clearly didn't ask your granddad that, did they?
no.
They just said, yep, $80.
$80.
So they would have been able to get it out.
Yeah, okay. I haven't thought about it like that. You're right. I was definitely overthinking
I
it.
do think you're overthinking it. It's like the time when you fucking were going to pay fucking like $5,000 for the door. Oh my God, bro. I'm like, bro, you could buy a whole new car engine. You could buy a car for $5,000 or whatever it was. Ended up being nothing. You didn't have to pay anything, eh?
Yeah, they're not here anymore, so I can say it. They ended up charging me $250 for insurance, and I'm just like, I'm not paying you because you tried to rob
Rip
from
me
me.
off. Yeah,
so
yeah.
I didn't pay anything.
There you go. There you go.
Nothing happened.
Mate, honestly. Fuck, that's funny. Okay.
Short answer, yes. Footy at weddings.
Well, it's a good test
We'll
for
see.
your wife, because if your mates are watching the footy and she gets pissed off,
Good luck.
good luck for the rest of your life, bruh. Good luck. Gonna be a tough one. It's gonna be a tough innings, and you're already in, bruss. You're getting bounces your whole career. Oh man, you know what? You may as well give watching rugby league up. If someone's upset about the bloke in the corner that you can't even see, watching footy on silent. I mean, when they're walking down the aisle, have some fucking respect. But
Yeah.
outside of that, like
I think of all people, I think Guru's soon-to-be wife is going to sleep with it.
matter of fact, I think Guru would be surprised if they're at least most blokes are. You know what? He's probably got TVs at each table, just in the middle of the table.
Imagine that.
Yeah. Look, I think obviously when they're walking down the aisle,
No, you can't do it then.
you can't do it then. And also, you can't do it if it's not your team, and you can't do it.
Yeah.
Like if your team isn't playing, you can't have your phone on the fucking table.
Nah.
I'd even go as far to say, like, if it's not a big game, just let it go, bruh.
Yeah.
But if it's your job or it's a big game and it's your team, then I think it's play on.
Yeah. Agreed.
But yeah, if you're just like watching footy and it's not even your side,
You're
like-
watching the fucking Friday 6 p.m. game.
yes, and it's like Warriors Knights and your side is like the Broncos.
Yeah.
Mate, you need to just chill out a bit, eh?
Yeah.
You can catch that game when you get home, all right?
Yeah, just watch
Holy. It's funny. I always have to watch, like, whenever me and the missus go for dinner, I always have to watch the footy, on my phone. She's never complained once.
How good's that?
Oh, it's crazy.
Didn't you watch it? Was it when you were over in Europe? You're at this mad.
So we're
bougie-
at this mad. So we're over in Paris, and she had booked this restaurant. Like, she had been pushing and pushing and pushing for months to get a spot. And I think the only reason she got a spot is because the travel agents that we use, like, said something along the lines that, like, we'd been trying for like 4 years, and it was our anniversary or something. Like, the travel agent lied and said it was something hectic.
Right.
So we finally got a spot. Anyway, so we're in Paris, like all the way over in Paris, like, the city of love or whatever. And I didn't know what the date was when we were going, because like what we basically did when we went away was I just said, we'll do whatever you want to do. So you just look into what you want to do, lock it in, sweet. So I didn't half the time I didn't know where we were going, what we were doing. I was just like, whatever the missus wants to do, I just, yep, sweet, let's go. Which I think most blokes are like that. Anyway, the only things I wanted to do was like some of the sports stuff. Like I went to El Clasico, Barcelona versus Real Madrid. Anyway, so yeah, this place is so hectic. There's like a wall with signatures on it from like Beyonce, Kim Kardashian. Like it is so hectic. Anyway, the day's getting closer and she's like, oh, we've got such and such restaurant on Saturday or whatever night day it was. I'm like, yeah, sweet. And I look at the schedule. I'm like, oh my God. It's Australia versus New Zealand semi-final. I'm like, fuck, I'm sorry, but it is what it is. So we get in there, sit down. Like it was so nice. What's different about Europe is like here in Australia, if you've got tattoos, some places just won't let you in. At least on the Gold Coast, it used to be like that.
Really?
Yeah. If you got tats, they won't let you in. It was on the Gold Coast for a while, and I think clubbing for a while. Anyway, so it was so nice that it wasn't even cold. I was wearing like my trench coat or whatever it is, my jacket. And I wore it all. They said, oh, would we like you to take a jacket? And I was like, oh, no, I would wear it. So I'm sitting at the table with my jacket still on because I was like, fuck, if I take that off, they're going to see the tattoos in this you can't get nicer. It is so ritzy, so crazy. And eventually I was like, you know what? I'm already in here. We've already sat down. We've already ordered the food. So like, I'll be sweet. Took it off. I gave a jacket. I was like, oh, I just was a bit worried about the tattoo. She was like, what are you talking about? It's all good. So over in Europe, they don't care about that stuff. Anyway, these waiters are literally like, they're like waiting everywhere to whatever you want. Boom, 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 as quick as you. And so, yeah, I got to a point. The women were sweet, but I had my phone out, was watching the footy. But the dudes were giving me massive greasies. They were so angry. The staff. They were so mad. And maybe it was a European thing. I don't know. Like they're all like, oh, treat your lady well. Because maybe they were looking at me like, oh, what an asshole. Like his beautiful wife is there and he's on his phone watching the footy and that. And I'm like, I don't give a shit. This pays the bills, bruh. Hey, you know how we got here? By me watching the footy. Exactly. So let's just fucking chill with the greasies, bruh. So even then, she didn't complain. She was totally fine.
If she's fine with that, then she's fine.
Well, when we met, I just said, like, when we first met, this is why I'm glad that we met when I was a little bit older. I made it really clear as to what my goals and ambitions were and what we would need to sacrifice. So I just said to her, look, if you want to live an extraordinary life, you need to make extraordinary sacrifices. And she was like, yep, okay, sweet. I said, all right, well, there it is.
Here we go.
And she never complained.
Fuck, that's good.
Never complained. The only time she got shitty is we were at the New Year's Day festival. Field day? Yeah. And we were like, we're both buzzing, just having a sick time, but I was getting like just smashed with photos.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then this one dude, like we were walking towards somewhere, and we'd been going all day. And this one dude like called, oh, Campy, and he like ran up. He's like, man, I'm the biggest fan. Sorry for bothering you. I'm sorry. Like, and can I get a photo? I was like, yeah, all good. And that was a one time where she got a little bit frustrated. But I think it was, she had a headache at that stage.
Yeah.
And that's the only time in 4 years
Fuck, that's
that she's ever been like, rolled her eyes, ever said anything. Which is fucking out of this world.
That's
luckiest bloke ever.
Yeah.
Speaking of fucking chicks, bro, blokes are good at finding trouble.
Oh, yeah.
That's literally what we do. We find trouble like morons. I honestly reckon women have it ingrained in them to find good lighting for photos.
Oh.
A woman could be at the bottom of the Grand Canyon in midnight and find good lighting for a photo.
So, I've never thought of that, but you're so right.
Like, bro, we spend like 3 hours a day trying to get this lighting right.
And we still don't,
and it still doesn't get right. My missus, I walked out the other day and it was like 5:30, so the sun's setting, and there was this like crack of light through the shade that she'd put down to a certain point. She was in the corner, and the photos were like immaculate. No lighting or anything, just with sun. It's crazy. Chicks can it's like they've got an inbuilt light detector where they go, oh, that'd be like, I was looking at going, when I was watching my missus, I was like, there's no light there. So how is that photo look so good?
Yeah.
But they just have this natural Like we honestly, every week we go, oh, lighting was a bit off here, lighting was a bit off here. They can do it like anywhere.
It's funny you say that. I've never thought of it like that, but you're right. Courtney, my girlfriend, she like posts photos all the time on Instagram. Like everything has to be immaculate, right? And you know, she's not the biggest fan of my photo taking skills. Yeah. So it's got to a point now where she'll scope a room, scope a fucking alleyway, scope whatever, and she'll get the phone, and wherever she wants me to press the button, she'll just hold it like this, and she'll be like, grab the phone, don't move it. And then she'll go move it and just go bang.
That's what I'm telling you.
It's crazy.
That's what I'm telling you, bro. Women are goat light finders.
Yeah.
And every single one of them can do it. You could just be, as I said, you could be in a dark alleyway and they'll just go,
bang,
light. And then take the photo, it'll be perfect. I just can't. I don't know how it happens. You know what's strange is like, for when we were growing up, I'm not sure about you, but when I was growing up, if someone said, oh, let's get a photo, like with an old school camera, everyone like, no photos. No photos. Whereas like now, it's like, what's up?
It's like you can't have fun without documenting it with a 100% with a photo or a video.
100%. Like it's bizarre how drastically, like for example, when you look at those old school photos, like for example, the one behind you, it's obviously not real, but but you look at those old school photos, like they're not smiling, they're just like straight face, like, and so they're not posing really, like their posing is in there sitting like that, but they're not like putting their chin up or, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whereas like now, everyone, they pose, they smile, they take a bunch of different ones.
Yeah.
It's weird how photos have all of a sudden become like just normal.
I reckon this guy was probably painted, I reckon. He probably had to sit there for about 10 hours. That's why he's so angry.
Get 10 hours for the beat to get done. 10 hours for the beat to get done.
You're right. Like, growing up, no one wanted, it's just the world of Instagram now. It's changed everything.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like an old granddad, and I'm just going to throw it out there. I think filters should be banned. Like, I'm not a big regulation guy. I do think regulation is important. I'm not fucking an anarchist. But, like, I just don't think it's healthy for any of us to... Because this is what happens. You put a little bit of a filter on, and you go, oh, wow, look how good I look. Then you get used to looking like that. You put more of a filter on. Oh, I look good. And you get used to that. You put more of a filter on. And before you know it, like, you're scrolling through Instagram and there's blokes with filters on, chicks with filters on. And then, so what happens is they see themselves every day in those photos. They're scrolling. They look up themselves in the mirror and they go, yuck, I'm ugly. And it's like, well, no, you're not. You're a human being. Your skin is what it is.
Yeah.
The images that you're taking are not real.
Not real photos.
But because photos are only been around for what, 100 years?
Yeah.
Let's just say 100 years.
That, yeah.
We're monkeys. We've been evolving for millions of years. So when we see a photo, our brain thinks that's a person that exists and it's real, but it's not. It's just a digital photo. And so like all these filters, I just feel sorry for the young, especially the young women growing up. Hey, imagine scrolling through Instagram as a young woman right now.
Oh.
Imagine how self-conscious you'd be.
Yeah. Because there's all like, in like quotation marks, like all these beautiful photos because everyone's either posting the best version of themselves or they're posting fake shit.
They're just face tuning themselves.
Face tuning, yeah.
pulling their waist in a little bit, making their bum a little bit bigger, their boobs a little bit bigger, and all this kind of stuff. Like I remember when I first met my missus, she didn't do it at all. Like she did a tiny amount.
Yeah.
And it took me a few months of like building her confidence up to be like, oi, you don't need that. You do not need that. You are beautiful the way you are, and like that is not real. And I just feel like concerned, especially for young women, because when you see something enough, you think it's normal.
Yeah, for sure.
Like a big one for me is like, you see a lot of girls with like big bums that are going around, and like even guys. We'll talk about guys too. And I always say to my wife or whatever, and any young person I'm speaking to, if you want to see what a naturally fit body looks like, go watch rugby league. There are bigger girls that are big and strong. You know what I mean? They don't look like Kim Kardashian. They don't look like that. They look like strong, fit women or men. Like, for example, you see these guys in the gym that are just like jacked out of their minds. even Jason Taumalolo doesn't look like that.
Yeah, exactly right.
So how the hell do they look like that? If they looked like that naturally, they'd be playing NRL or they'd be playing some kind of sport.
Yeah.
And so, as I said, that's my granddad rant over. But I just, it's not healthy.
Nah, it's not. Funny example though. I took a photo and my missus was like she does the face tune thing, but she was using it on me. She's like, I'm just going to whiten your teeth.
Oh.
I'm like, are you trying to tell me that, do I need to go dentist or something? Are you dead?
Like,
mate. Just making it look better. I'm like, I don't now. I can stop doing it to me at least.
Look, make me be clear. I'm being really clear. I'm not shaming anyone that uses it. I get it. We're all insecure. Fuck, we're all insecure about the way we look. Like, it's just that I just wish we could. The more we see that, and the more we see everyone using it, the more we're going to think that's the way everyone looks when it's not true.
But we shouldn't be using it. Like I'm with you.
But I get it why they do.
I get why they do.
I get the way we're all insecure because we've been looking at TVs and everything of these like when I grew up, there was like when you saw a beautiful person, you'd be like, oh, there's a beautiful person. Like that is a hot person. Like it'd be one every 50, one every 70 or whatever. Whereas now, because of all the stuff you can do to your face and that, like everyone's hot.
Exactly.
Everyone's hot. And so I get why they do it. And look, I don't mind. Like if you've got a pimple here or there, that's fine. Yeah. Like I'm not saying that. And as I said, I get why people do it.
Yeah.
We all have insecurities. Like I've got insecurities, you do.
Yeah.
Girls, I don't even know how they handle all of the pressure that's put on them to look perfect. But yeah, filters for me. And yeah. You know what's scaring the shit out of me is AI. Holy shit. What the hell is going on with that?
They just put it on Snapchat.
Oh my God, we are doomed, bro.
I know.
We are doomed. Anyway, that's Packer. Yeah, that's a good way to end it.
We're doomed.
You know what? Go have a few cans and get over it.
Yeah.
Bloke cans, get some bloke beer. We're all doomed. It's all good. Lay off the filters, you blokes. Jesus. I tell you what, seeing the blokes put on the filters is a bit. How you going?
Yeah, nah.
It's like, mate, you don't have the pressure that chicks have.
Yeah. Also, blokes like it's not the same. No one cares.
But like, women have immense amount of pressure.
100%. Yeah.
Blokes, no one wants you to be pretty, bro.
Nah, stop it.
Not all blokes. Like if you want to be pretty, that's fine. I'm not saying it. But like at the same time, you don't have the pressure that women have.
Yeah.
Just chill out. Let's just chill out in the filters, blokes. That is us done and dusted. Packer up, boys. Another week. And we will see you next week. And I'll go and fuck myself. Thank you.
What are you really gambling with? For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelponline.org.au.